All right, hey guys, it's FB here. I have been playing Star Savior for the past 3 days now, so I just wanted to give a little bit of my 2 cents on some tips
激
and
しい
guides for
戦闘
everyone.
を期待してもいいのでしょう
Currently,
か
I am in mainstream 16. I just beat 15. Um, First things first, push this as much as you can until you get bricked. And if you get bricked on auto, I see way too many people that this happens to. But like manual the stage, like this is not like a full auto game. Like you can manual the stage, use your Nova burst, read your character's kits. Like a lot of people don't know that Ashura S1 can AoE dispel debuffs. Like that could be the difference between your tank living and dying in some scenarios. If you have Emily, she has a barrier on her S1. That's also a big difference sometimes between living and dying, you know? Additionally, I see a lot of people saying, oh, I'm bricked, I don't know how to get more power. Now it's gonna look crazy because I'm really far ahead, but this top area, you want to typically get to +6, and then the bottom area to +9 if you have T1 gear, which you should have relatively early. I got really lucky with my substats on this character, but even still, her crit rate's not as good as, you know, the GOAT. I think this character is massively underrated. I think more people should be playing Yumina, but that's just my 2 cents on it. Ashura at 1 dupe is probably going to land you a lot lower than Ashura at 3 dupes because, you know, there's RNG and you probably just going to have to take a lot longer to, like, actually progress because you're not going to have as much of a guarantee to get those heals out when you need them specifically. But yeah, make sure you 60s and 90s. I 15 this mostly for PvP. I think PvP right now is in settlement period, so I can't really show you guys, but I was top 100. I'm maybe like 105, 106 because I went to bed. And yeah, so I would say in terms of progression, there's 4 things in order that have importance. The first thing being okay, level 25, nice. The first thing being leveling. Now the way that I've done leveling and the way that I've seen veterans level as well, and this has been like really good for me, is getting right before a threshold. So like let's say the next threshold here will be 130, right? You want to stop at 129 and get all of your other characters to 129. That way everybody's at the same power level and you don't have this discrepancy where it's like, oh no, I actually need my tank to be stronger here. Alright, I am back. So, like I was saying, the most important thing would be leveling. You know, getting all the characters at the same level. I lost my train of thought there. Well, I'm actually pretty close. Can I 129 this character? Get the whole board up to 129. Actually, what am I doing? I'm literally capped on resources. I know some people are pissed about that in the comments. Oh no, I'm not. Never mind. Sorry, but between when I paused and when I came back, it's been a minute, so I wasn't sure if I'd done some things yet or not. So that'll be enough to get Hill to 129 and therefore get every other character to 129. Boom. So, the reason why Hild has nothing is because I use Emily now. So I just gave all of Hild's gear to Emily. But leveling is the most important thing for progression. Secondly, it is 100% journey. Journey will give you the most amount of actual power points and statistics. So you want your stats to be really good. There is an auto mode, but the auto mode is kind of bait because the auto mode will just get you to where you're supposed to be. If you want to push ahead of where you're supposed to be progression-wise, you're going to need to manual these stages. You're going to need to manual the journey, and you're going to need to get stats that pertain to the character, you know? So, like he needs hit rate for the taunt. Pretty much every character I have needs hit rate except for Ashura. But with Ashura, it was kind of difficult to balance all 4 of these. So I just got a bunch of stats instead. She needs HP and this, and then this is just nice to have. Once we get to 18, that's the next like biggest threshold, and then you'd be able to unlock Journey Hard. That's when like true endgame starts. I genuinely think. And then after you finish your main 4, let's say you're brick and you can't do anything else. What I did is I went straight to RTA. So I leveled Charlotte, Charlotte has my old Yumina gear, because now my Yumina has T2 gear, so I didn't feed my T1 gear in. I just gave it to Charlotte instead, because I think she's going to be useful for 16, considering I think 14 was red, 15 was blue, so 16 is going to be green. So I might be using Charlotte a lot more for this season here. Another thing, because a lot of people, I personally experimented. Don't do anything but speed ring on your necklace, because the crit damage is so low. Like you can't tell the difference, and you can easily just get this 12% in substats, right? Or through journey. So definitely stick with the speed that they tell you to get, because it's gonna help you rotate a lot faster. Additionally, outside of Charlotte, I build Luna. She's like generally good, and she's pretty decent at PvP, and she can help set up for my Yumina, my Emily, and my Hills, and my Lacey. So I'm gonna try to get her on speed gear so that she can have the 100% bind with the Nova Burst. Lu, I built her because I was bricked on 14? And you needed a red character. And I thought, or you needed a blue character because it was a red stage. And I thought Lu was gonna be like the end all be all, like, okay, I'm gonna build Lu, it's gonna be free. She didn't really do much for me. I feel like I would have been better off building Luna, like all the way, or building Asher all the way. Because my Asher is dupe 1. And Asher is just a really good like AoE damage dealer. And she does decent toughness as well. So, yeah. Outside of that, some other good mentions. Sarah, she's apparently really decent. She does have the 20% push-up. Or does it stay 10%? Let me see her skills. Sorry, just a second. I don't think the thing levels up at all. Okay, action gauge 2, 4, 6, 9, 12, 15. So it goes up 15 to 25% action gauge boost, which is pretty good. That could be a difference maker. You might like not need to run speed boots, I guess, on some DPSs and still get a lot of damage. But I don't think the non-speed variants in that. Muriel is also going to be a very, very good pick if you have her. She gives attack down and burn, which is like slightly worse than bleed, and then she extends debuff durations as well. So if you play her with Yumina, for example, you could get like burn, bleed. It's kind of messy. It's nice, and you get attack down as well, which is a very good debuff for extending your life. Another character that's really underrated, Lacey. Lacey gives what's called Entangled Dream. Entangled Dream is like a pseudo attack down, and she gives herself attack up, and it's AoE, and it procs it so that her passive makes it so that she can't really die if somebody with Entangled Dream attacks her. So these are some good mentions for characters that'll help you progress faster. Obviously, Asher is in there, Emily's in there. These are like no-brainers, but those are a little bit more niche picks that people might not really be aware of yet, that I think could be pretty good if you don't have the options that I have, right? After you do journey and you do leveling, gear is going to be the most important thing. Gearing is going to be by far the most important thing. This is the make or break. From when you get to around 13, 14, you're going to need gear, depending on your roster obviously, but you're going to need gear to be able to progress, okay? You need attack main stat for this. You need speed main stat for this, and that's pretty much how it goes across the board outside of the sets. There is a spreadsheet. I'm not sure if we're supposed to share the spreadsheet yet, but there's a spreadsheet made by a Korean player that has pretty much all the sets for all the characters, as well as how to actually journey all the characters. So that's something that I will reference, and you guys can take a look at that. And there's also Taichara, which is like a tier list, like Pride-Win variant, that'll show you how good all the characters are and who you should be investing in if you don't really have a favorite at the moment. But yeah, like, she doesn't have any debuffs, so obviously you want to go just the barrier set. She doesn't have any debuffs, so you don't really want the effect hit rate set. But I went it just because. Is it active? Why isn't it active? Oh, it's a 4-piece set. See, I didn't even realize this. So this needs to be replaced with like a crit rate set or an attack set. But yeah, like, see, something like this, for example, like my Asha was significantly weaker than she should have been because she doesn't have a 2-piece set. So these are things to consider when you're leveling your account. So the same thing as Emily, well, she has a debuff, so you can make the notice for. It's a guaranteed taunt though. I don't think you need effect hit rate, but you could try to get a little bit. Outside of those three things, next thing I would recommend is going into your candle square and getting everything cleared out as much as you can. As soon as you unlock Cube
来ら
Palace
れま
and
したか
Tower,
団長
Cube Palace, I recommend not doing it right up until reset, and obviously do it before reset, because you want to be able to clear the entire step at once, because you only get one of these per day. I'm actually a day behind on this because the first day I couldn't clear it. I only got up to 4 because my Ashura wasn't even duped yet. I was still at the point where I was building 2 accounts at the same time when I was re-rolling. But you want to be able to get all the way through when you do this for maximum progression. And you also get more cheat code thingies, which will give you more passives, right, to make the runs easier. So yeah, Cube Palace is very, very important to do. I would say this next one is a little bit more important than Cube Palace. The tower. The tower game mode. So with the tower game mode, we have the base tower, which is infinite, and the mono type towers. These you only get 3 a day. On weekends you get all 3 up, but these rotate, so these are not always going to be available for you to do every day. Only on weekends are you able to do like all 3 of them at once every day. So I think the way I started, I think I didn't unlock tower day 1, so that might be why I'm only on 4-3 for this. But these 2 are the farthest anybody is so far on the server for these 2 right here, for these 2 mono towers. And then for this one, I think I was stuck at 100. I could probably manual it. For tower, I give a little bit less effort because the rewards aren't that super crazy to the point where I'd want to. There's a skip button, so I always skip. And if it's like my rule of thumb is that if it's like anywhere above 95, I assume that it's just an RNG diff, like maybe I missed a crit somewhere. So usually I'll just keep going on skip because there's no currency for tower. So you can just kind of do this infinitely. And then if I do this like 4 or 5 times and I'm still bricked, I'll be like, okay, this is just AI error possibly. And then I'll just manual it. But it shouldn't be any more than like 2 or 3 tries here. As well. Outside of that, obviously, you know, do your PvP as it comes, your gauntlet. It's closed on the weekends apparently. I didn't know that. I would have pushed a lot harder last night in PvP to secure at least top 50 to ensure that I was top 100 for the week, but I don't think the PvP season ends anytime soon. Alright, I have a multi from beating chapter or Operation 15. So for each sector you beat in the operations, you do get a multi. And for every main story chapter you get this. You get 10 of these. I already have beat the main story chapter a while ago now, so it's just these. Characters I still want: Bunny Girl Claire, Bunny Girl Scarlet, Bunny Girl Frey. Is there any main? Lydia, I guess. These can't fake out. Don't be fooled by the pinks. It can fake out, but it didn't in this scenario. Of course it didn't. Streamer luck doesn't exist. You guys should know this by now. Don't look at my streams. Anyways, trying to see if there's anything else I could give as tips. Obviously, you know, do these daily things every day. Like this event specifically, make sure you're doing this every day because you get mad amounts of gold. You get a crazy amount of gold from doing this. So right now I'm at what? I'm at 50 of the limited ones for Rosaria. And this is after pulling for Hild, pulling for Yumina to get my Yumina dupes. Like, this game gives you way too much currency off the jump. So you should definitely be using everything smartly here. And you should be doing this every single day. And then the special missions too for like using willpower. Starlight's Breath is the currency that you use to level up. And journey score is, you know, journey. Just doing your journey. Aside of that, I'll just, you know, reroll on this banner. Let's see if there's anything else. Yeah, it's currently day 4. Technically day 3 for most people that didn't like start on launch, but day 4 for people who, you know, got the 2-in-1 reset essentially. This is also a reason why pushing tower is important. You're gonna start to get T2 gear post 100, which is gonna really expedite your progression because you're going to be able to have T2. This is because T2 is endgame. This is endgame gear. This is like end of the gearing stage. This is what you would be farming, and you just get to select it for 4 characters. This being, extra pulls could be good. Let's see if there's anything else. Obviously, operational mission breakthrough. This is also another reason why pushing through operations is important. This is how I got my first stack of T2 gear, is directly from this. And you can see we're getting a lot more as well. They also gave you, I believe, a random red, green, and blue SSR for getting up to 14, which I've already used mine. I got a bunch of dupes. And new characters, obviously. This is just going to give you 1,000. I don't think this is super duper high value, but it does just give you, a nice mesh of extra resources. So you definitely can't be mad at this support growth mission. I think it's to help us get caught up with JP a little bit faster. This one is the weekly one that gives you the red, green, and blue that we saw from the live stream. So this one, this week is going to give red. I assume next week is going to give blue, and the last week is going to give green. So just be logging in every day. Take a look at, make sure you've done these before the week ends, just to make sure you're capped out on progression and you don't have to do anything extra. This gives you 10 standard and support Arcana banner summons every single day for 7 days, and you get a free Frey. So I guess this is for the weird people that don't like re-rolling and don't want to pull for Ashura. You have Freya as a free character. You're going to be a lot weaker and progress a lot slower and not be as useful in RTA, but you'll most definitely still be able to progress with just Frey, like it's been done on JP. We do also get a free Roberta. Like, the rewards are ridiculous. We get a free Roberta on day 10 of this, and Roberta is one of the best single target damage dealers for green, as well as really good in PvP, because if you do any type of AoE to her, she just counters you for like more damage than her S3. So she's really good at stopping, because most of PvP is just a bunch of AoE, right? So you pick Roberta and she's actually a threatful pick. Top 100 player, by the way. This, you get a random SSR Arcana box at the end of 14 days, which is also really good because you have the chance of getting this one, which is, in my opinion, the best one. You get 8 speed from this, which is just ridiculous. As long as you max out the bond level, and Journey is its own beast, but I'm sure there's a bunch of YouTubers as well who've already done it. I don't really want to become like a super duper guide channel, but just to like briefly summarize, once you max out the bond level of this, you're pretty much guaranteed to get this at the end, as long as you just keep doing hard trainings. You're pretty much guaranteed to get that 8 speed. Same thing for Petra. Where's Petra? Petra, same thing. She gives you 18% crit rate, which is more than half of the set, the crit rate set, which is ridiculous. So those are 2 pretty much non-negotiable Arcanas you can choose to reroll for, but not really necessary. You get so many Arcana summons and random boxes in this game that you don't really need to. Good honorable mentions are, this Kyra one. Let's see, I forgot it gives you 10 speed at the start of turn, which is, not something to scoff at for sure. This Lacey one is also a staple. It gives you 6% attack and 6% crit rate. So if you pair that with the Petra one, you're looking at an abundance of 24% crit rate and 6% attack, pretty much off the jump, plus 10 speed, plus 8 speed with this. So like, there's a lot of stats that are stacking together here. Outside of that, I forgot what else is good. I guess this is like probably the best defender one. It gives you 8% defense and FRES, I think. Yeah, which, I mean, it is what it is, I think most of the SSR power ones are good. That's not as value because Bell can just strip that, but it's still decent. Like, having crit rate at the start of battle pretty much means you only need 70 crit on your builds. Crit damage stacking, very nice. 10%, that's 30% in 3 turns, which is more than, again, it's double what you get from a crit damage main stat, which is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So yeah, Arcana is very useful. And they do actually, like, a lot of people say that Arcanas don't matter. I used to be a victim of this as well. But Arcanas do matter, is just which arcanas are you using. Like, you don't need to have arcanas to progress, but if you're planning to play RTA or anything like that, you are going to need arcanas to help you build your characters, because stats in this game are kind of weird, where if you're not having HP, defense, or attack, you're kind of struggling for stats, if you don't have arcanas at least. Next, guilds. You know, make sure you're doing your guild missions. I mean, this is pretty standard stuff. Just do your weekly guild missions. Try and get to, you know, this 1500 every day. These materials are pretty scarce for leveling, so they're gonna be nice to have. You know, pretty basic stuff. You know, gauntlet 5 times, which is just PvP, or arena 5 times. Gauntlet strategy battles, which is arena. Donate pretty much 3 times a week. Hunt quest, which is just, you know, your gearing stages. Journey, which you should be doing anyways, and then just checking in 5 times. Right now my guild is really full. I don't know what the max level is, but I have converted it from a open invite to approval required, so we're going to be bottlenecking a lot tighter, and if there is guild wars, we're probably going to kick a good chunk of people, but as of right now, the people who got in early are the people who got in early, you know. Guild battle, I've seen somebody on the Asia server who's beat this one. People are crazy. People are crazy. And the Asia server is different from Korea, Japan. Like, those people are people who started with the same time as us, and they're like this far in. So for this, I believe you can do this 3 times a day. It'll give you 2 at the beginning of reset, and then you can press this button. Obviously I've done it already, but you can press that button, and you can buy another one for, I believe, 30. What I do is I always do this one because that's where I was. Now I maybe could do 100k, but I would do this one because this is when I could comfortably full clear every single time. And then you want to primarily bring red characters into this because it's a green stage, so blue characters are probably why you're not doing too good in guild defense. So yeah, Charlotte, Muriel, great picks here. I tried to pick a team that kind of made sense. So yeah, that's what I would recommend for guild defense. Just, you know, you run your main team mostly. Most people are running Charlotte instead of Yumina, so you guys should have a lot of an easier time. I think this is my 3rd team. My 2nd team is probably Charlotte and, like, you know, some other characters. Guilds are also very important because of the guild shop. The guild shop gives you this Molagora equivalent, which you're going to need terribly. It's so scarce in the end game. You want to stack these as high as you can, as much as you can early game. After this, I would recommend, you know, getting these 2 as well, because you still need to be able to progress up to that point. And then maybe the weekly advancement stones and the weekly Aether Dust, because as you can see, I'm out of Aether Dust. I have to push PvP. Outside of that, it's pretty much come as you go. There's this, you know, refresh stamina thing, which is always useful. There's the monthly stock as well if you ever are bottlenecked on resources and don't have any other way of getting them. These are also pretty good for resonance upgrading. Oh, I actually didn't mention this before. Hopefully I added this in, but after journey, before gear, resonance is the most important thing, because resonance gives you stats and it gives you power. Like, it gives you this, which is something that you automatically get from journey, so once you get it to 3. And then there's just more stuff. Like, now you have sense of focus guaranteed. You have, is there anything else I get? I think this is just an additional attack % bonus. So these are things that'll really, like, help your progression. Like, this is 6% crit rate. Like, that's ridiculous, you know? 8% effect hit rate, which is really good for Yumina specifically. So resonance is really important. I think resonance 10 is the max. Resonance is just as important as leveling, because like I said earlier, you get resonance in conjunction with your level. So as, like, and it goes up in increments of 20. So right now I should be resonance 6 because I'm at 120. So 20 resonance 1, 40 resonance 2, and it, you know, it continues to go up and up like that. So at 6 you should be at 120. So I should be at 6 here, but as you can see, I'm kind of struggling to get everybody to 5 first. It's a lot of math. It's a lot of math. And for me specifically, I made the mistake of building Hild. Not the mistake, because I put Emily after getting Hild. But you really should build up Emily before Hild. So mainly because I built Hild up to 5, and then I also where's Emily? Hello? I guess maybe I showed her already, but Emily is also at 5. But that's the main issue. So I have my resources spared a little bit more thinly than I would have liked. And that's the main reason why she should be 6. She should be 6, and it should be a lot easier to progress because she would have 6% extra crit rate, which means she would be at 70% crit rate, which means that she's at 100% crit rate effectively when she gives herself crit rate up buff, right? So these are things that need to be taken into consideration when you're leveling your account. Choose a main 4 and stick with the main 4. I recommend, it's pretty much like the first 3 should be guaranteed. It should be Ashura, Emily, and Lacey, and then your 4th is a flex. But that 4th you have to make sure you're committed to. Like Yumina, people are gonna say, you know, Charlotte's better. I should have built Charlotte, but I know I'm gonna use this character a lot in RTA. I believe this character is better than a lot of people give her credit for. So not only did I invest in her dupes, but I invested in her as a character as well. So I recommend, if you're gonna find a character that you like and you want to invest into, to commit to that. That way you're not sparing your resources too thin. In my scenario as well, I didn't want to hit top 100 before I made this video to have a little bit of credibility. So I gave other characters, like, you know, here and there, some dupes. But Petra's almost max dupes. It's actually pretty lucky for me because she is like the bottleneck of the break team, because she gets, is it 20% CR? I think she gets 20% CR every time you break someone, which if you make her like go last and you have like Tanya and what's another good breaker? Maybe Carmen, Tanya Carmen, or Tanya Charlotte into Petra. It could be really good. Or if you want to run a fast Petra, some defense break early and get that defense break into like another character, like a loop for a single target nuke. It could be very good. It could be very, very, very good. So Petra is actually, I think, also an underrated character for PvP. PvE, maybe for tower. Maybe for tower. But outside of that, I think that's just about everything. Oh, another tip for progression here. When you first start out, it's going to be very important to take a look and see what you can get out of this. This isn't necessarily the greatest, but it's still usable, right? So try and get the early T2s as you can. I'm not getting the purple one because I'm at the point where I'm already getting gold T2s. So make sure that you're checking the Apocalypse shop daily to see if there's a piece that could be usable for you in here to help you progress a little bit faster, right? Outside of that, you will get to pity once or twice in this observation records to get, you know, this is the currency for pity. A lot of people are like, what should I get from the shop? Don't get anything from the shop if you don't have all your arcanas done yet. I would recommend, and I do think it's actually worth, to just all in arcana box every single time, because you have the possibility of getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 really, really good arcana choices, and you get to do that maybe 1 or 2 times, right, with this selector. Outside of that, for this, you know, there's the daily stack of the tomes that you could do, and you know, this thing as well, which is going to level up your break skill, which is the thing next to your formation. That's going to be very important to do as well. What I did is I got greedy for more characters, so I actually got a little bit of this and a bunch of this as well. So I got a couple of more SSRs through this, which is you know, you're gambling, but hey, it could work. This one as well, I recommend maxing this out. This is why I think it's also very important to push PvP early, because you can get 2 more of these cosmic cubes, which, like I said, is a super important resource for leveling your skills, as well as some just general gold. It might not seem like it, but you're gonna actually run out of every single one of like the main resources for leveling at least once if you're really, really pushing your progression as far as you can. And obviously, you know, get the T2 stuff as well. That's gonna be really important. It's only 1, I think. Yeah, you only get 1, so you only get 1 piece, but still, that could be a difference maker between clearing a run and not clearing a run, right? Here, I actually don't think I've used this. I don't know. I think Cosmic Gate is like a seasonal thing, because when I played the KRJP version a few days before Global launched, I actually did have access to Cosmic Gate, and I thought it was tied to like leveling or something, but right now Cosmic Gate is just closed. Like, this is Cosmic Gate. We just have to wait for a new season to start. I assume JP just ended their season, which is why we do not get it. So yeah, the Cosmic Gate will be very important because you can get basically a full set of tier 2 gear. So if you could push this as hard as you can early game, you'll be sitting pretty. I would also recommend getting these because this is also pretty scarce resources for leveling your gears. You're gonna need that, especially after you've maxed out your progression as much as you can and fed all the T2s you can to be plus 15. For the supply pack, this is like a last resort. Let's say you really want to progress, but you have no way of getting any resources anymore. What I personally did is I got this twice. Like I would have probably been at like 26, 27K. I got this twice, and then I went to the monthly, and I got, as you can see, I got 2 monthlies. I got this for 10 pulls because I needed gold, and I got this because I needed, the Starlight Essence. I really needed the Starlight Essence to be able to push to 129. You could do this for this as well. It is kind of worth because you need Arcanas. At the time, I didn't really think Arcanas were that valuable, so I took regular standard pulls, and it got me more characters that I could use for progression. So it's definitely your discretion there. And then there's a name correction if you get an account gifted to you or something as well. Yeah, the weekly, I don't think the weekly has too much value. It's just 5, which is bad. Like, you should just do the daily because you can do the daily twice. I don't think the weekly has too much value unless you're like a super whale and you want like this. This is the only one I would think is sort of valuable. And then the special observation here. This is from what is called the Flashpoint event. Through the Flashpoint event, you can get all of these characters. So you can get Scarlet, you can get Bunny Girl Claire, Omega, Belle, which I think is one of the best PvP characters right now, Emily, Charlotte, Frey, and Roberta. And the way that will work is you would come into Flashpoint, you would go here, and this one gives you the OP Arcana I told you guys about, the Knight's Oath Arcana, very broken, and this Arcana, which is going to be completely farmable, very good Arcana as well. This gives you a bunch of HP % as the Journey event, which is going to be very good for your supports and even just general DPS. Like, it's very decent. You're going to want to progress this as you go along. I assume like after about maybe a month's worth of progression for regular players, maybe 2 weeks for heavy pushers, you should be able to get to at least 210, I want to say. This one gives you the Omega and Muriel for right now. Muriel, very good Omega. I'm not too sure how high value she is. She does have like an AoE S2 that you can spam, which is kind of funny, but not that good. And on rotation right now for the red one is Bunny Girl Claire and Heidi. Heidi is the character that has the skin for this RTA season, so if you don't have Heidi, this is a way to farm her, I suppose. I'm not sure how it rotates yet. I haven't played long enough to know that, but you do get 200 as your fixed savior level. So if you're able to go in, you're gonna be pretty much where you need to be. That's why I said at least 210 for people who play for about 2 weeks that are trying to push, because you're gonna be at Resonance Stage 10, which is, like I told you, the max resonance, right? You're gonna have maximum stats, and you're gonna have level 200 as well. So it's really just gonna be your gear and your journey is going to be the bottleneck for how hard you can progress this. So I think you should be able to reach 210 relatively easily because you should have all the T2s by week 2. Outside of that, is there anything else? I guess there is the event right now. This event is kind of really self-explanatory. Every week you come in, or every day, sorry, you come in, you sweep this, you get a little bit of progression, you get a little bit of currency, you get assault progress up here, which is just going to give you stuff. You come into your shop, you get summons as you need it, you get currency as you need it, and you get, oh, does this one not give the gold one? Oh, I guess not. This one doesn't give a gold one, but what I would recommend, obviously, get these as soon as you can, just in case for whatever reason you just stop playing and you forget to get everything else. That's why I would say this is the highest value. If you don't get this, I would say these 4 right here are also pretty high value. Outside of that, obviously just resources as you need them. I don't think you're gonna need these. Like, if you max out the shop, you can go ahead and get this. And if you're really trying to like min max, you can do this. But I don't see the value in it. It's here for 18 days, bro. Just relax. It's okay. It's gonna be fine. These are also really high value. Again, it's kind of come as you go, as you need it type of deal. Outside of that, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's kind of important. This is gonna, oh, there is this. So this is actually how you unlock break skills. You get this from the shop that I showed you. And then this is actually how you unlock this one, the Star Piecer, which I personally think is the best one. This is how I was able to manual stages that I normally wouldn't be able to beat, because I would be able to manipulate the turn meter and get this 20% ult gauge and push myself and give myself essentially a second turn against the boss, when realistically my turn should have already been over. And it also gives you damage proportional to allies attack. This one is just like a straight damage, I think. I don't think Starlight Horizon does much. It gives you attack and defense 20%. I actually haven't looked into this too much. What does this one give? Crit rate and crit damage. I think this is actually higher value than the attack and defense 20%, because you don't need defense when the enemy's broken. You're going to be using this to cash out after you've broken the enemy, right? At least on PvE stages. This might be more useful in PvP because you might need the defense, but I think crit rate and crit damage are very high value. This is the healing one. I thought this one was going to be really, really OP as an extra sustain compared with Ashura, but it's kind of mediocre. It gives you speed, which that's not going to really matter when you break someone, as opposed to ult gauge. So I think this guy is by far the best, so I'm going to be investing into him the most. And he's going to give crit rate and crit damage as well, which, depending on how you want to do it, you can make the argument for having your characters at 60% crit rate, 30% from the crit rate buff, and then 10% from the strategic command domain, right? So these are all things to consider. I think all this increases is the amount of damage that he does, which is still going to matter. And you're not really going to use this for anything else, so you might as well. We are also going to get this at some point. I'm not sure where from, but I think this is probably going to be the best one. It gives you 15% damage and toughness damage by 1, which is ridiculous. This makes it so that it's by far the best in PvP, because you can break so much easier and you can stack break for the next instance of using this. Additionally, it gives you 4 Nova First, which is like equivalent to maybe 20 souls in Epic 7. You get 20 souls from this, and then it gives you CRF amplification, which is, this thing, right? It gives you the 15% attack and that, and there's a proportional to all allies attack like everybody else's does. I wonder if they're going to release an HP or defense variant break skill. It'll be pretty funny to see if they do. But right now, everything is just attack scaling. So, attack scalers are better right now than non-attack scalers as a result. For PvP at least. Okay, and then the original dispatch, this is pretty much a come as you go basis. There's no extra way to get this resource. You only get it from missions. So just level this as you go. It's pretty much tied to your operations. Moon Garden, I'm curious as to what that is. I haven't seen that yet. There was something else I was going to mention, but I kind of lost my train of thought. Starlink, I recommend maxing out your Starlink as soon as you can, getting all your characters up. For not only the towers, the mono towers, but also just for PvP in general. There's been times where I have an ungeared Luna, and because she's 129, it's high value as opposed to just not having her built at all, right? And you can change these at any time. There's no limit to it. There's no cooldown on it. You can change these at any time. So I don't think you're gonna be using all of these characters at once, but if you are, you could also use to spend gems to get more, right? But this is pretty much directly tied to your operations progression. You see it says 15 here because operation 15. Once I get to 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, it's gonna give me more. I think it's not gonna unlock all the way until you beat all of hard mode, I think is how it works. But yeah, this is really nice as well just to have. Craft shop. This is apparently, I haven't played around in it too much, but this is apparently how you get a majority of your gear. You get it from this, which you get from hunts, right? So you use hunts to farm this, and then through this you can farm gear. I think this is only purple gear, so it's a little bit lower value, but still most likely going to be better than T1 gear. I haven't run the calculations or the testing yet to be able to definitively say that, but I assume, as you go down, I think this is going to give you purple, this one is going to give you gold, and this one's going to give you sparkly gold, right? Which sparkly gold is like super end game, which is why progressing through operations is really important, because they give you this pretty much off the jump, right? So outside of that, what else was I going to say? There was one other thing. I guess I could show you a visual for the star break, the break skill. This is where you equip it. There was one other thing. There is this as well. So when the game starts, you're going to get a bunch of these things I still have some of my T1 gear because I just didn't need to use any else of it. But you're also going to get a free SSR Savior box. If you don't have Lacey, I recommend pushing as far as you can without Lacey before choosing her from the selector box, because you could pull Lacey, and while Lacey is a very good character, her dupes are not that impactful, right? Her dupes give her just attack and action gauge boost, not that impactful for her. So Lacey at dupe 0 is pretty much effectively the same character as Lacey at dupe 3, which is not necessarily true because you have more turn meter push and you have more attack, but it's effectively the same character. You don't get a new skill set, from max duping her. So I would recommend that people don't immediately use this. Progress the story as far as you can, because you can probably get to like 6 or 7 in the operation sector before having to get Lacey definitively. And the caveat of this is that if you do pull Lacey, well, now your options have opened up, right? I haven't used this at all because I wanted to push as far as I could, and as a result, I have the option of getting Elisa, the only reviver in the game at the moment. I have the option of getting Lydia. Still not too sure what she does, but I've heard she's good in PvP, so I guess. She does speed down and increases her self-action gauge on the debuff. What is Unknown Hex? Okay. Oh, I'm not gonna lie, this is also a bug. Devs, can you please fix this? I wonder if they fixed it. So Tanya has something called demolition mode. And they don't show you what demolition mode is. So unless you just build Tanya and use her, you're never gonna know what demolition mode is. Can we fix this? Can we fix this? And I don't think it shows demolition mode anywhere else. Yeah, no, it doesn't. It doesn't show you, unless I guess you have dupes in her. Then you can maybe see what demolition mode is. But like, why can't we see what demolition mode is? I want to know what this is. This could be a make or break for whether I build Tanya or not. Devs, please fix that. But yeah, no, I have the option of getting Lily, Haiti, which I've seen really good play, doing really well in LTA. Smile, pretty useless, but like I have options now, right? Because I chose to hold my my selector as opposed to using it to try and get progression faster. I chose to progress as far as I could before using it, and I ended up never having to use it. So this is something to consider. If there's any dupes I need as well, I can immediately, go into those dupes with this selector as opposed to having to summon, for it. Additionally, I did buy the $15 pack. I do think this is probably the highest value pack that you could buy because you get a free Ashura. My initial thought process was, okay, I have a dupe on Ashura. If I get another dupe, then I can use this box to max out my Ashura. And then while pulling for Yumina, I end up getting my my last Ashura dupe anyway. So now the game kind of did me a favor. I have this for free, right? And this gives you a little bit more leeway that the other SSR box doesn't give you. You get Ashura, obviously. I think there's a few other characters. You get Belle. This will probably be the character that I do choose if I end up needing to. You get Emily in here. Who else is not included? I think Carmen wasn't. Yes, you also get all the bunny girls. So I'm actually probably going to end up picking bunny girl. Oh, is Frey not included here? Or am I just blind? Oh, is bunny girl Frey not included in this? Scarlet, Claire. Yeah, bunny girl Frey actually isn't included in this. So bunny girl Frey is considered rarer than Ashura. That is interesting. But yeah, I would say highest value obviously is bunny girl Charlotte, then bunny girl Claire. After Ashura, if your Ashura's already maxed dupe. But again, I'm just gonna wait because I haven't finished story yet. After I finish all of story and all of hard mode is probably when I'll use these, because I'll be at the point where I'm pretty much only going for PvP. You're also gonna get a bunch of these, which is useful. What I would recommend doing is just doing Ranger, and this is for specifically people who have started the game before Rosaria comes out. I would recommend getting this Ranger because that's what Rosaria is she's a Ranger, and this Dark one. Unless you have a character you want to agenda push. I want to agenda push this character, so it's beneficial for me that Rosaria is a Ranger because I get to buff up Yumina and have an excuse for it, right? But ideally, I feel like that's what you should be using all of these on, because you're gonna get the other books anyways, so it doesn't matter that much. Between these two, I would say it's more important to get the Ranger because that's gonna cover more than this is, right? You're gonna have more Rangers than you're gonna have Dark characters. The way this works is that you get an hour worth of this Noah file, right? So this is tied to your operation progression. So if you're at like 1-1, this is going to be a lot lower of a number for you. If you're finished with hard mode, this is going to be a lot higher of a number for you. So that's pretty much come as you go. This I'd recommend not using. Typically, there is an incentive to save these. However, with the event that I showed you guys earlier, if I can go back to it. Well, this has been a 45-minute video. I'm going to need to edit the crumb out of this. With this one that I showed you earlier, an incentive for this event is actually to use a lot of your willpower. You're not going to do this naturally. So there is a little bit of incentive to use up your stamina boxes to get this maxed out so that you can then max out the shop. Because outside of the ones that I showed, there's also this shop that gives you 4,000 gems and then extra 10 pulls of each of these and then 10 more pulls of whatever you would like to choose, right? And then on top of that, you just get, you know, regular stuff if you have anything left over. I think that just about does it in terms of everything I wanted to say. I might be forgetting something. I'll probably hint at it in another video if I did. But yeah, this is going to be a fun video to edit. And I assume this is seasonal as well. I don't know what Moon Garden is, but it seems interesting. So yeah, just progress as much as you can. Operations first. Level, journey, resonance, gear. Do what you can. And yeah, you guys have a good one. Next video I'll make will probably be an RTA one, so you know, keep a lookout for that because that's gonna be fun. RTA has been really fun to play recently.